Welcome to section 34 of the Grand Tour of Northumberland. On this section we'll be doing castles and more castles, and we'll be doing an old watermill and a model railway line, something like that. Some standing stones and castles. Did I say castles? We'll be doing castles today. So join us for section 34 of the Grand Tour of Northumberland.
Digging through a closet of old CDs, past lives in boxes. Music absorbed till it seeped from my skin. Can't stand to hear it. Means more to me than photographs. Pictures of backyard and northern sunsets are all that exist in my mind. Freshly cut lawns and daytime sprinklers, spider webs on a gray wooden fence. I remember the comedian.
So we're starting this section at Ford. So we're just walking our way from the car park into Ford Village, and that's when we'll start discussing all the facts and history of the place. But this section we'll be doing two castles. There's another castle which will be at the beginning of the following section. So basically from now until we start heading back inland, because we're going to go up to the border, we're going to go along the Tweed to Berwick, down the coast, Northumberland coast, and then cut back into the inland a bit near Roughbury area. Basically from now until we cut inland again, there's going to be lots of castles. So this is Ford Village. The original Ford Village was demolished, and this one was built in the Victorian times at the bequest of Lady Louisa Waterford. Lady Louisa Waterford was an accomplished artist, and when she built the new school she painted inside, and you can now go in and see the paintings. So that's where we're going to go first, and we're going to start the grand tour there. Not sure if I'm going to be allowed to film inside, but we'll see. This here is the old school. That's now called Lady Waterford Hall. So I'm not quite sure how my footage turned out, but I did try to film inside. There was more. I didn't show everything. That was not really possible unless I was going to be very obvious in filming. To be honest, I never asked if I could film. I should have, maybe. But hope you got an idea of the place. Hope I got some decent footage to get an idea of that place, so that you can come here and visit yourself. At the far end of Ford is the old forge, which forms many pictures and picture postcards of Northumberland, especially those covering Ford and Ettal. That's largely because of the horseshoe doorway. It's now an antique shop. Behind here's the walled garden, but you can't really see because of the wall. This is like the driveway between the castle and the village. I've got these trees as a hedge. You see how big they are? Here's the outside of Ford Castle. Apparently 3 of the original towers remain from when it was a medieval castle. Ford Castle began in the 13th century as a manor house, but was granted permission in 1338 for Sir William Heron to turn the manor house into a castle. In 1513, the castle was used by James IV of Scotland on the eve of the Battle of Flodden, where he met his end. He was the last British monarch to die in battle. The castle passed to the Carr family through marriage in 1549 and on to the Blake family in the 17th century, again through marriage. Sir Francis Blake converted the castle into a Tudor-style mansion in 1694. After the castle passed to his grandson Francis Blake Delaval in 1761. John Delaval, 1st Baron Delaval, built the manor in a Gothic style. His granddaughter married the Marquess of Waterford. Louisa, the widow of the 3rd Marquess, restored and modelled the castle into what it is today. In 1907, the castle became the property of James Joycey, 1st Baron Joycey. It was used as a hospital in World War II and then leased to Northumberland County Council from 1956 as a young person's residential centre. In 2022, Ford Castle was acquired by PGL, who now operate as an outdoor activity centre for schools. It's not open to the general public. I stayed here when I was a child, part of a school trip, twice. We're going to have a look at the church now before we head off away from Ford. Obviously the church has been a church here for a long time. The current church was built in the Victorian times, I believe, or the late 18th century. It's quite a large church at Ford, considering the size of the village. The problem with hiking on a Sunday is that sometimes you hit services, and we were just catching the tail end as people were leaving this one. Those are nice windows. I'm not sure you're going to pick them up on the camera. I'll try and take a photo after. So the details as well. It's quite large, isn't it, for a small little village? And obviously you got the castle. There's some impressive looking graves as you're entering the church. This one here is to the 2nd Baron Joycey. Some of them are difficult to read. Okay, this one here is Louisa Waterford. She's the one who we were talking about before, who was good at all the art. She basically built the current modern day fort. And this here is the first bar in Joycey. So this is the remains of the parson's tower, which was where the parson for the church in olden days, not the current church that stands there today, but the previous church that was there. That's where he would have stayed during Border Reaver raids. Not sure if we're allowed to go down here, but we're going to try. To be honest, I'm not sure which were the towers that were in the original castle. I believe that one is, definitely. I think that one on the end might be as well. But which one was the third one, I don't know. It could be that the third one is behind outer side that I can't see. I still love coming here. Quite a large drop down to the bottom. There is a path down there. I'm not sure how you get to it. It's very impressive. There's the gatehouse for the castle. Incidentally, public access for walking is allowed on that driveway, but you're not allowed to drive on that driveway. And we're heading up this road and across this bridge. As you can see, it's very busy. There's quite a low wall on this bridge as well. And this is the River Till, which we're going to be following for a while. So we're leaving the road here and we're following this riverside walk to Heverslaw. There's a sign telling you about what they're busy planting and a bit about the history of beer and whiskey making. So all of these crops here, the very bright, vibrant green at the moment, is barley. It's being grown for beer and possibly whiskey. The sign was quite interesting. It gave a little bit of history about the origin of words. So the word bear was the Anglo-Saxon word for barley. So bear is in Berwick, B-E-R. And that's how we get the word barley, barley, barley. It's also where we get the word beer. So we come out at these lovely little cottages and we're turning right. Start of this route, in any case, is very well signposted. It's difficult to get lost, to be fair. Okay, so this is Heverslaw Corn Mill. There's been a mill on this spot since at least the 13th century. The current mill was built in the 1830s by the Waterfords of Ford Castle. By 1949, the mill had fallen into disrepair, and it was gradually restored by the Heverslaw Mill Charitable Trust since 1972. display on how the mill works. Wow, the mill wheelhouse is quite impressive. It's a shame about all the cobwebs, but still, that's quite impressive down there. So this is the restored upper mill. Millstone. Wow, again, real good view of the water wheel.
Potatoes, carrots, peas and beans to be processed by freezing plants for supermarkets. And livestock basically
Tells you all about the Ford Metal Estate. Once over, I used to be able to drive across this bridge. I took a people carrier across it. It was quite scary, especially considering it was a hire car. Now it seems to be closed to traffic and just open to pedestrians. So this is the Haverslow Light Railway. It opened in 1989. So that's the train. The train goes around a meander, so it takes 2 miles to get to Edel with the train. However, you can walk it if you want. It's about a mile if you walk it, and there is a path, so it's possible. But obviously, if you walk it, it just cuts straight in a straight line across the fields, as opposed to the train which follows the river. Once upon a time you had to pay to come in here. It's free now. Edel Castle started off as a tower house built in the 13th century or early 14th century. It was home of the Manor family until 1547, when it was exchanged with the crown for land elsewhere, and it became part of the royal estate. In 1584 it was considered to be in a state of disrepair. However, with the Union of the Crowns in 1603, it left the castle redundant and it was allowed to fall into ruin. It's quite impressive when you're here, isn't it? So this was once the gatehouse. It's one of the things that makes Ettal kind of special. It's the thatched houses. There's the Black Bull. This used to be, I don't know if it still is, the most novelly thatched pub in England. Beautiful. We're going to have a look at the church at Ettal. So this is the Chapel of the Blessed Virgin Mary. I expected it to be more ordained, to be honest. I thought the ceiling's beautiful. Fitzclarence tomb is situated in the South Chapel. That's the only stained glass window in this place. There's a little bit about Lord Frederick Fitzclarence, 1799 to 1854, the third natural son of H.M. King William IV. He died near Pune, India on the 30th of October 1854. Buried at Ford Church on the 10th of February 1855 and interred in the vault beneath this chapel on the 7th of August 1876. Grand Master Mason of Scotland 1841 to 43, Provincial Grand Master for Northumberland 1845, but never installed. Lieutenant General in the Army 1851 and Commander-in-Chief at Bombay 1852 to 1854. He married Lady Augusta Boyle on the 19th of May 1821 and she who died on the 20th of July 1876, and their only daughter, Lady Augusta Georgina Fitzclarence, who died on 18th of September 1855, aged 32, both lie beneath the floor of this chapel. So that tells you a little bit about this tomb. To be honest, I know absolutely nothing about the Fitzclarences, but obviously it's one of the sons of King William IV. And there's a big house behind here, so perhaps that's connected somehow. Let's go back into the main chapel. To be honest, the floor is probably the most interesting thing here. But also the ceiling. As I was leaving, I found this leaflet all about the church, the history. So there was a chapel to the Blessed Virgin Mary that was founded at Ettal in 1345 by Sir Robert Manners, owner of Ettal Castle, which isn't this place, by the way. It was much further down the river, apparently. In 1821, Lord Frederick Fitzclarence, one of the illegitimate sons of the Duke of Clarence, later King William IV, married Lady Augusta Boyle, a daughter of the Earl of Glasgow, and then owner of Ettal Manor. Lord and Lady Fitzclarence made their home in Ettal. In 1854, Lord Frederick, a soldier, died near Pune in India, which we already saw before, and blah, 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 blah. So the chapel was constructed between 1856 and 1858 and consecrated on the 30th of April 1859. So there you go. So I'm assuming that the big house that I can't really see because of the trees and is private land, I'm assuming that's where they lived. There's an old milestone near the village, pointing in the wrong directions. Berwick's 10 miles the other way and Wooler's 10 miles that way. If I assume if you were busy walking this direction you would see the Wooler sign first, and obviously if you're walking the other direction towards Berwick, if you were walking the other direction towards Berwick, you would obviously see the Berwick sign. So that's probably the reason why that was. This rhododendron hedge is really nice. It's a little deep to wade across in hiking boots. It's a beautiful spot. Madcap Gallery. Some beautiful pictures in there, but way out of my price. This path is very clear. I'm not sure if it's like this all the way. St Mary's Chantry Chapel. On this site once stood a medieval chantry chapel. St Mary's was built in 1345 and was commissioned by Sir Robert de Manners, Knight of nearby Ettal Castle. So that would have been in there. That looks like it could be the remains of an old mill. Let's see if we can get a closer look. Okay, I'm not exactly sure what this was for, but obviously the water from that sluice came down onto these pipes, which was then used for something I'm not sure about. There's the remains of the chapel. There's a sort of well there, isn't there? Which would have probably been diverted previously to whatever was operating in that shack. This was a little unexpected, this place. I didn't know it existed. So it's a surprise for me. I love unexpected finds like that, things I didn't know about and hadn't planned for. And here's the second thing which I didn't know anything about. What's this? Looks like a gravestone of some sort. MEI, June the 14th, 1993. Wow, we are on June the 14th today, of all things. A man greatly loved. Like, I really like this spot, or was drowned here, which I don't know. But today is June the 14th. A little bit spooky, that. Yeah, so today is the 30th anniversary of that man's death. So remains of a building there. Another mill, perhaps. And some more walls and windows. Very overgrown. There's another structure over there, so I'm guessing it was another mill once upon a time. There's a board here that tells you all about it. Let's find out. That was right. Ettal Barley Mill. This was once the site of Ettal Barley Mill, otherwise known as Ettal Low Mill. The water mill powered by the River Till. It's not known when this corn mill was first in operation, but there are records of the mill here since at least the late 18th century. The sign gives quite a bit of detail actually. There's a map of what it used to look like. It used to be quite a substantial site once upon a time. That was like the mill here. There used to be a cottage here as well, which I can't see any remains of. Apparently there was a big fire here on the 29th of December in 1868. The mill was burnt to the ground. The gamekeeper tried to continue living here in 1871, but by 1891 the place had been abandoned. And apparently this pathway used to be called Lady Fitzclarence's Carriageway. The signs say keep out, but if it wasn't so overgrown I would definitely be in having a closer look. It's a shame because like over there next to the actual buildings it's still overgrown, but not as bad as here. Like here it's just like nettles, thistles. Yeah. I think for once I'm going to listen to the signs and keep out. Maybe you come in the winter when it's less overgrown. Be bothered by a fly. It might be more possible to get in. These Californian poppies get everywhere. Yeah, another discovery, but I didn't know. I'm already enjoying this path. I'm sure you're going to pick it up on the camera, but that there is cut stone. So that little weir has been deliberately created at some point in history. Why? Clear bit of the river and another sign. I just want to tell you about the wildlife. Things that to look out for. Kingfishers, herons, squirrels, deer. Not only is it a very wide path, but there's lots of information along the way. It's quite good. I'm enjoying it. And some hidden cracks. Wow. I think that the river carved this out once upon a time. I'll be honest, the river does look as though it's polluted. It's got that bluey tinge that polluted rivers tend to have. I wouldn't want to go swimming in it. I think the brown is just the soil. That's quite a common feature in most rivers in the UK. It's that bluey tinge which I don't like the look of. Here's a stone bridge, which is also unexpected. Here the path splits. You can continue along the River Till, along a path which I kind of expected, to be honest, or you can continue on this well-maintained track up to Tyndall House and Duddow. We are going to Duddow today, so we continue on this main track. Might come back along the river though. Well, that was a steep climb away from the river. Looks like a field of wheat on this side. Over there is Ettal. Very hot day. Very nice house. When we get to the end of here, we're following the road to the right. There's some more things of interest to see. I don't know if you're going to get it, but there's the tower there. We'll see if we can get closer. It is far too hot to be walking along roads without any shade. The road is kind of melting. Like, my boots are really sticky on the road. I'm quite concerned that I'm going to ruin my boots, to be honest. Let's see if we can get closer to the tower. It's a very pretty place. To the tower. Okay, so the tower is a former peel tower. It was destroyed by the Scots in 1496 when it belonged to the Stryvelin family. It was later acquired by the Clavering family. And it was turned into a tower house in the late 16th century. It was abandoned as a home in the 17th century, and the estate was sold in 1788 to Sir Francis Blake. It's a very formidable looking chapel. I wonder if we can go in or not. Let's find out. Beware dogs. I have a feeling you can't go inside. So if you do come and you want to see the tower closer, you need to follow the road around, and then there's a farmhouse gate along there somewhere, and you can use that gate to get to the tower. So after seeing the tower, we're following this sign to the stone circle along this way. It is seriously far too hot today to walk on roads. So this here's Duddo Farm. It's very beautifully well maintained. That was the steward's cottage, which I was saying was very well maintained. I'm assuming that's the main house. Eventually you'll come to this gate here. It has a sign, stone circle. That's where we're heading, across the field. So where we're headed is on the top of that hill over there. Sadly, this is not a through path. So it's to the stones and then back to the road, and then following the road to Twizel to the end. And then obviously you have to go all the way back to Edel. There we go. I've got the stones to myself for about 2 minutes. There's somebody behind me starting to catch up. He's just stopped to take some photos. To be honest, I'm kind of hoping I can find some shade against one of the stones just to sit and have some lunch. So these here are Duddo stones. It's probably Northumberland's most famous stone circle. Certainly the largest surviving one, although there were larger ones in the past. These stones are all about the same height as me. Most of them are in any case. Some of them are bigger than me. I believe there's one stone missing. There was a previous stone circle near Belsay Hall which was larger than this one, and there was another stone circle near Simonburn that was also larger than this one. Obviously you got the goat stones at Simonburn that still exist, but the other ones were destroyed in the 18th century, 1700s, usually just to make walling. They were used as gateposts and stuff. Such a shame. That's like lost heritage, gone. There's Cheviot in the background there. It's impressive, isn't it? It's lovely. It's a nice breeze here today. And the other people have caught up. I've not got the place to myself anymore. It's amazing some of the offerings people bring. There's a seashell there, and this one's some dried flowers. The weathering's amazing. This one's got cook marks in it. There's more offering, flowers, grass, corn. More offerings. They clearly still hold a spiritual significance for a lot of people. Stones offer fabulous 360-degree views as well. That was Duddo Stones. Oh, it was so hot. There wasn't any shade at the stones really. Not enough to sit in any case. So we're heading that way. God, that was a long walk. Okay, so we'll follow this track down here towards Tiptoe Retreat Farm Fishing. So we're not going to Tiptoe. Before we get there, we'll be heading off in a different direction. That's Heaton House Mill. I've gone astray somewhere. I'm not sure exactly where. Yeah, I've gone astray. I'm supposed to be closer to the river. I'm supposed to pass that house. The problem is that I was using my phone for the OS map. My phone's broken and it was kind of working, even though the screen was smashed a bit. But now I can't see any picture at all on the screen. So I've kind of lost the map. So I'm kind of just following where the path seems to be. And I know roughly in the direction I'm going because I'm heading down the river. So I just need to keep the river on my left and follow the river down and I'll get to my destination. Obviously I need to come back, so I'm just going to have to retrace my footsteps coming back. Temptation to go down the bottom is immense, but then I might lose my path. That might not be a path down there, you see. This might actually be the real path. It's getting very overgrown. So, yes, I'm not sure where I've gone wrong. I've missed the path somewhere, but we'll just continue as it is. The field was a bit overgrown, lots of thistles. Kind of wanted to go to that mill, to be honest, because on the other side of the river is the remains of a castle. I'm not sure if you can see it or not. I was wanting to have a look to see if you could, but never mind. It's down as a castle, but like many of these castles in Northumberland, some of them are like old peel towers or bastles that have been like incorporated into farms later on. I think it's kind of one of them when I looked at the photos of it online before coming to do this walk, when I was like plotting where I was going to take the walk, because part of me wanted to take it to Flodden and do the Battle of Flodden, but I couldn't make it work. And the closest I could get to making it work was to go by, sorry, I'm getting a little bit lost on where the tracks are here. The only way to do it was to go by that little castle, but it was giving up far too much in order to add it on. It's something that can be done at a later date, because there's a few places we've missed on the Grand Tour which would be quite nice to go back and see. Places that I've either missed completely out because I couldn't make the Grand Tour work in order to conclude them, such as Whitley Castle, the Roman fort, some of the big chimneys for the lead smelt works near Allendale, the old scout camp, one of the very first scout camps. I think it's the first official scout camp, I think it is. And also some of the things on the Grand Tour itself we missed. So we missed a POW camp on the section where Neil quit. There was a POW camp that we missed on the way. But these are all things that you can either find yourselves when you visit out there exploring Northumberland, all the places I've missed, or there could be things that I can go back to in the future and do in the future, something to add on at the end of the Grand Tour. This is idyllic. There's a cute little house. I love the steps to the door with the trees. I'm not even going to try the door. There's a cute little bridge as well. Very nice. There's an old shack as well. It's so nice here, but so hot. Oh, that's seriously big slab of rock, that. I think along here. Throughout this walk I've been cursing not putting on a dress or some shorts because of the heat and the nice wide paths and the road, but I'm glad I didn't now. This place is like a jungle. It's just like loads of nettles and I've stung to death coming through them, and I've still got more to go. Look. Seriously, it's just so overgrown. After all the well-maintained paths so far, and then this footpath is seriously overgrown. I've been stung to death with nettles. It's really hard going. I've got to come back this way as well. That's Twizel Mill. To be honest, I don't have much about it. Looks very nice, but it's private. It's private residence by the looks of it. Twizel Mill only private, no fishing. Nearly at the end, I think. Seriously, beating this weather. It's just so hot, and that last bit, maybe half a mile or so, I'm being eaten alive by whatever. Just being stung and prickled to hell with nettles and thistles. Not pleasant. Up until that point, it was fine. I mean, there was all those thistles in that field, but where I missed the path somehow. But just that last bit, that was just like, I just spoilt the walk, that and the heat. But you know, you can live with the heat. You can live with the prickles as well, to be fair, but they're not pleasant. Pair of swans. Really, the midges. There's Twizel Bridge. To be honest, I was expecting some old, very old and important bridge, and what I've got there is like a modern road bridge, but I can just spy it on the other side. For a second there, I was thinking, whoa, I thought this was supposed to be a historically important bridge. It's not some road bridge, but it's behind that one. So that's something for the next section. So this is Twizel Bridge I'm on at the moment, the historic one. This marks the end of section 34. How did I find section 34? Very tiring in this heat, especially the road sections. There was no shade, it was relentless. I'm absolutely sweating buckets, can't wait to get home and get a shower. Simple as that. The paths were really nice for most of the way, just that very last section. Just got stung to hell with the nettles and stuff like that. Insect life was pretty wild as well towards the end there. When I started off, I was cursing and I wasn't wearing a dress or some shorts or something because of the heat. That last section, I'm very glad I wore leggings because I would have been stung to hell without them. So if you like the video, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment below, hit the subscribe button for the next adventure, share with your friends on social media, and I'll catch you on the next one.
Digging through a closet, old CDs, past lives in boxes. Music comes up till it's seeped from my skin.